Okay, it's doing it now.
Might be worth just clicking the link and making sure it's streaming.
So we should be live.
Brilliant. Do you want to just click the link, make sure that we're there, or at least just look at your stream. Just look at the streaming thing and make sure we're.
Yeah, it's showing us talking.
Brilliant.
So
who wants to the intro this week?
I'll do it.
Right.
Go for it, John.
So, welcome to AK Mobbing live stream. We're continuing with the game of life, Kata, which we started 2 sessions ago. We're kind of testing from outside in, and the tests at the moment cover the whole operation of the application. So matrix in, matrix out. I'm not going to explain game of life, but we are looking to continue with testing different permutations of cell with 2 live neighbors stays alive, right?
Yeah, I think where we got to at the end of last time was we had a good discussion about the fact that, you know, maybe we'd maybe gone too far with keeping the test independent rather than collapsing them down into a parameterized test. I think we also talked about the fact that we were fighting too much with dealing with the whole grid rather than just the rules of one cell.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about different options, such as, you know, maybe we start from the inside out, maybe we should have done a refactor or made a different approach earlier on. And I think all of those things were great ideas, but I think we decided that rather than winding back and starting again and trying a new approach, let's see how we can start to.
That's right. That's what we agreed. That's what we agreed last time. But looking at this again, and you realize how many different possibilities there are for live cell with 2 live neighbors. This is going to get very long.
Will I start a timer?
I'd like to make a bold suggestion, which is to extract count live neighbors, maybe into a different class or module, and write the tests for that in a sort of generic way, if possible. You know, think of them like what are they called? Property-based tests.
Yeah. Can I just stop you for 1 second? I'm just going to start the timer, okay?
Yeah.
So 5 minutes on the clock going from now.
Cool. Excellent.
So just for everyone else, John is navigating, Mark is driving, I'm advising or just hanging out.
Okay. So where we're currently at, so just to get it, so I'll just run the test. I'll just test it here. They've run. So all the tests passing, and our last test was no, not the correct grid. Test live cell with 2 neighbors stays alive. So we got to the point where we had added this test that kind of duplicated a lot of the tests we had, and we were debating when we would be happy to remove the duplicated tests. So, John, over to you.
So my bold suggestion is to, if you go into the grid class or follow me, extract this function, count live neighbors, into a separate module or class, and test it on its own. Because, you know, it's fairly complex in itself.
Okay.
And we're getting bogged down in keeping track of what we have tested and what we haven't tested.
Okay.
So would you
So should I start with a new test file to be really good?
Yeah. Yep.
So
Can I just
Can do like the refactoring exercise here. We've got tests.
Yeah, so I wouldn't suggest creating a new class. I would suggest making the change whilst relying on the tests we already have. Bearing in mind we have got those duplicated tests yet, and we haven't decided what to do with them yet.
Try and make incremental change.
But also, I don't think it's just count like live neighbors. Are you sure it's count live neighbors you want to extract and not the logic?
100% sure. Yeah. Well, I think they should both be separated from each other. But,
just whether or not you want a count thing as like a I trust you.
cool. So I'm happy to do so. So
Yeah.
if you want to unselect so that I can do stuff.
Yeah.
So what's your first? Let's taking the baby steps. What do you want your first step to be?
Extract to a function in the same file, but outside the class, maybe.
Okay. The whole function.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any way to do that? Let's see what my refactoring tools let me do.
I think the easiest way is to just do tab right the whole thing. Tab left, I mean.
Just that. Yeah, probably.
Because it uses self, so you're gonna have to
Sorry.
because it's using self, it's now going to be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we need to figure out
We can get rid of the self.
what needs to be passed in.
I mean, you could theoretically just pass self in.
Really? Will that work?
Yeah,
It
it's using the
will,
matrix, isn't it?
It's probably not what you want to do, but you can absolutely you could
Python do anything.
Yeah, so you could, to make that pass, Mark, let's just make it pass. Let's pass self in on line 26. Sorry, John, I cut over you then.
Sorry,
So that should pass. But then
I was moaning about Python. That's fine.
But then let's make it better.
Okay, so test is now passing.
Good.
So what's the next step, John?
The next step is to take self out, and instead we want to pass in matrix.
So
Yeah, self.matrix, I think we pass in.
So
What else?
change this to be matrix and get rid of, so basically that, and then this is matrix, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's self.matrix.
We could do with types as well.
Okay, just check that.
What else do we need?
Still working.
4 seconds.
5 minutes isn't long, is it?
No. Cool. Are we going to rotate?
Yeah, let's rotate.
Okay.
So John has become the driver. I've become the navigator.
Right.
Okay, so I will follow John.
We have my pie here.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to chuck it in, you can. What would it be? It would be a list of lists of.
Yeah. Oh, we've got it here. Oh.
There you go.
We can make that a type, can't we?
Yeah.
You want me to run tests? Just
Yeah. On the test.
cool. Test still passing.
Okay. So this here, can we just scroll up to the top for a minute? Because I think there's. So if we can you just scroll up the.
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, you, I think, John. I think Mark's just following you.
Yeah, I'm following you, John. You need to move. You maneuver, and my screen will maneuver
Yeah,
around.
but my font is much smaller, so I couldn't scroll up. Sorry.
I think if you just click your cursor into the like the top of the file. There we
go.
So so at the moment, all of these northeast, south, and west, they are like absolute coordinates, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, this get neighbors is not going to just pass in a matrix, right? It will need to pass in, like if we are going to pass in a matrix, we're going to have to pass in a matrix and a location.
Yeah, a matrix and a coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
right.
for now, we don't have that. So if we go down, so my question here is, we've extracted that out to a function. John, did you want to use that as an opportunity to test that method independently? Function rather.
Do you think we're ready for that? Yeah, because we don't know all the things that we need to. Oh, you were talking about the constants, right?
But I think that's a reasonable thing to do. If we're extracting this out so that it's exposed, so that we can test it, we could get some test coverage up on that. However,
true, we could
if
get rid of that as well.
However, I kind of think that count live neighbors is probably not the most important bit here. I would like to extract out some of the contents of that update, and in fact,
you're right. It's not the core rules.
Yeah.
We can focus on the other bit.
Yeah. So I think,
I mean, once we extract count live neighbors, we can supply a fake instead.
I'll tell you what. Can we do something? Can we do another little refactor quickly? So what I would like to do, and I know this is slightly odd, but I would like to introduce the coordinate. Right, and I've only got a minute to explain this, so maybe I won't.
Okay.
So at the moment, all of the logic that we've done is about manipulating just the middle cell, like the 1x1 cell. So I think what I would like to do is explicitly call that out. So if we create a current location, like a coordinate, whatever it is, we set it as 1x1. So the update only ever updates that. And then we use that, and then we extract this out, and we can pass that into count live neighbors and make northeast, southwest relevant relative to that. And then at some point we can write a test then to start looking through all the different coordinates. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's still just the refactoring at this point. There's no we're not changing the behavior, we're just making the locations relative rather than absolute.
Yes, that makes. I understand what you're saying. Yep.
Cool.
Are we about to run out of time?
So what would you like me to do?
What I would like you to do, John, is at the top of update, the top of the update function.
Yeah.
I would like you to add coordinate equals, and it will be 1,1. And then I would like you to pass coordinates into count live neighbors. Which means that you're going to have to add it to that one as well. So at the moment we've just added an annoying bit of extra data. You can do tuple, square bracket, int, comma, int.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. So at the moment that should just run, right? That we haven't changed anything. We've just added some noise. So what we can do now, if I haven't run out of time. No, I have run out of time. I'm going to drive.
Okay. So put me in navigation.
Okay.
I am just hanging out.
Yeah. Let me just make sure I can see the code. There we go. I'm going to start my turn.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'm going to continue with what I think you were suggesting, Tom. And I think your first suggestion was around using the coordinate to just change the status of the cell we're looking at, to turn it on and off. Was that right? Or
all I kind of wanted to do was make the north, east, south, and west relative instead of absolute.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Relative.
so move into the count live and basically work on north of coordinate rather than.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, yes. So let's do it. So can we, as a first pass, just to get it working, could we do something like create a new local tuple called north at the top of that function?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would.
You've got the tuples as constants. What?
Yeah, but we're doing it so those constants work. Just assume. So what I want to do now is make this the relative location based on the coordinate given. So it would be. I need to just hang on. So it would be
if this helps.
Yes, thank you. Row column, thank you. Yeah. So north would be row -1, column, just column.
Yeah.
And then if you replace, so if you now replace the constant north with, actually I was going to do 1 to make sure I got it right.
Oh, okay, yeah, good shout.
So, baby steps.
Yeah.
North.
There we go. It's not happy
Cool.
about spacing.
Okay, I'll just run the test. Oh. Cool. So still passing. Excellent.
Cool.
Okay. So then let's do northeast.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt quickly? Can we maybe tweak this slightly? So rather than doing this, should we? No, I'll tell you what. I'll leave it be for now.
Okay, cool.
No, I'm just thinking. I'm wondering if we can, rather than just having that local one defined, maybe we can make line 8, like the north 0, 1. I wonder if we can actually make that into like a -1, 0. So it starts to represent the thing, and then determine this north as a calculation
of north.
Yeah. So
that should work. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just up to you. It's either that or we create a northeast, southwest.
Let's do it like this for now, because ultimately we're not going to have directions. I think we're probably going to have something like an array slice or matrix operation.
So so working round then. So northeast would be row -1, column +1. I think. Yep.
I can't work these things out.
Cool. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so south would be, so south of is that's fun.
+1.
+1 column.
I've got a lowercasing library here, which I've forgotten where it is.
It might not be on.
Never mind, I'll type it. I'll try it another time.
Cool. Still passing.
Oh, got a bit of lag. Oh, sorry, I've got some weird lag. So east, that's row, column +1.
Yeah. And then west should be -1 when we get to it.
Yeah.
Cool. We broke it. Oh, hang on, that could have been me.
Oh, that might be because I got carried away.
Yeah, that's all right.
Right now?
Go on, change. Yeah, it's fine.
Great west. Okay.
There you go. Awesome.
So we've got that now. So now these constants at the top are no longer.
You don't need, they're not.
Should we get rid of them for now and put them back if we want them later?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
It looks like my timer's up.
Okay.
Let me turn sounds on so I can. There we go. That's better. So who is next?
So that puts me into driving.
Navigator.
John's a navigator.
Oh, really?
I
No,
think.
No?
that's John's becomes the navigator. We've done one cycle
Yeah.
now at the start, and we can always mix it up if we get bored of the order.
Okay. So
Cool. Okay, I will start. So it's
What
Mark,
am I?
John navigating.
Navigator. Fine.
awesome. Okay, go for it, John. What am I doing next?
So I agree with Tom's suggestion that now this could have its own tests, but I'd like to extract it to a different module just so that we can focus on it visually separately.
Okay. So we'll take this. New class, or what are you thinking?
Just new
Um,
file now, shall we?
Yeah, new file.
Just new file, yeah.
You know, as a static module kind of
What
thing.
would you call the file though, John? We're taking it out of grid.
Yeah. Oh, what should we call the file? Cell counter.
Cell counter. That the hypheny way to name the file? Underscores.
Yeah, that's Python.
Okay. So just pull it out.
Wildly mildly uneasy with this, but I'm happy to keep going with it.
Don't worry, if I can allay your anxiety slightly, I've done.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna keep quiet.
Okay.
I mean, you're the advisor. You're allowed to.
Oh, I've broken it. Hang on.
I'm to observe.
What's the problem with it?
Probably an import. Can I suggest that you?
But we need to import it.
No.
Yeah.
We were using north, south, east, west.
Huh?
In the test.
Test, yeah. Hang on, it's okay. Show diff. Rollback lines.
Yeah.
There we go. So.
Oh yes.
Here we go.
But
no, still broke.
It's still probably not enough because there's still.
Should be enough.
It's not that. I don't think it's. I think it's a different problem. Have a look at the error.
Okay, true. Update. Where's it going?
18. Live is not defined. Is that?
Yeah, it's because live is now used in cell counter, which now means if you import that from here, you're going to get a circular reference.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to move the live dead definitions to the cell counter.
Okay. So that works.
But then they need to be imported, don't they? Yeah.
And the tests, I'm assuming. Oh no, that's working. Okay. Yeah, you fixed it. Cool. Okay. So we now have the cell counter function in its own module.
So I was just gonna say to Tom, we could go two ways now. Either we write the tests for this, or we can, if we go back to grid, follow me?
Yep.
We can now fake this function and just cover the basic game of life rules here.
So I actually have a third opinion, which that there's still something going on here, right? This update is eventually going to be about the whole grid, and I think it's worth extracting out the logic for just
Yes.
a per cell, and I think that
Yeah.
we've only done half the extraction, right? We've introduced coordinate and we've passed that into count live neighbors, but we're not using coordinates, the coordinate on line 28 and 32. And I think if we make those, is that right? No, sorry, that's not quite right, is it? Time.
No, this is these are the state of the matrix.
Yeah, but what I would like to do is I would like to extract out that into a function and then build the tests around.
Yeah. You mean like basically you'd have a function called get next cell state for
Yes,
one,
what I would like to do,
either alive or dead.
yeah. So I would like to, sorry, with what are we doing? The time has just gone off. So if we need to rotate, I'm navigator, John, you're driving. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay.
I can carry on my thought. So before we do that, can I suggest that we take this code here and make the middle bit about the cell? And what I mean by that is if on line 27, you say something like cell state equal or new state equals,
Yeah,
for now,
equals.
just dead.
Sorry.
Dead. Cool. And then get rid of line 31 and just replace that with new state equals live. So 31, 32 goes, and we just update new state here. So new state.
So delete this return.
Yeah, delete that.
Instead, we just want to return.
No, not even return, just new state equals live.
Yeah.
And then on line 34, the last dead is now, no, leave all that. It's just the bottom right dead now becomes new state.
Oh, yeah, right, because that's the cell.
Exactly. And now, if we run that,
I'll run test. Still passing.
Now I think we should extract everything from line 28 down to 20. No, better ignore. Yeah, so everything from line 28 down to 31, we now extract. So into a new function. Now the question is, do we pass
this? Okay.
Oh, in fact, let's do 20. Let's do
A function called calculate next state, right?
Yes. But should we pass? Hang on. Should we pass in the number of live cells or the function to get the number of live cells?
No, pass in the number of live neighbors.
Okay.
Get from here, I think. Okay, I'll do it manually. What am I calling it? Calculate next state. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine for now.
So we need to pass in self and number of live neighbors.
Don't need
returns new state, right?
It doesn't need self. It can be it can be its own top level function.
Oops. We return new state.
Mark, you might need to follow John because
yeah, I just realized, sorry, I was sitting again, I can't see the changes.
Yeah.
it's starting to become clearer,
Yeah.
isn't it? This is number, right?
And yeah, or you could do a tuple of live or dead.
No, it's not a tuple. It's one value, but it can be either or.
It could be live or dead, 0
Yeah.
or 1. So you could have it as a tuple of those exact values.
So you can do like that.
Oh yeah, you can in modern Python, but I don't know what version of Python we're using.
I think we're on 3 something. Can we to run
That's-
test and see?
It's
don't think
Still working.
right.
Cool. Still you driving, think Tom? What's
Oh, is
next?
it me? Sorry, it is. No, I'm navigating.
No,
John.
you're navigating, sorry.
I'm
But still,
driving.
what's next?
Cool. So my time is about to run out, so I'm not. I'll tell you what. Over to you.
Is that me navigating now and you driving?
That's right.
Okay, let me follow you.
Is it worth us? Just a little question. Is it worth us once we've done another cycle? Should we randomize it so it goes in a different order?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Cool.
What tests mean?
No, just the order. So at the moment, it's always me. Like it's
Oh, I
always
see.
Mark navigating me, and maybe it might be fun
Okay.
the other way around. Cool. So I'm driving. I'll start the timer.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm navigating. So
Now it's easier to see by eye.
What's going on?
Responsibilities of different functions and parts of the system.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is, whether this is doing weird untested stuff. No, because yes, it is. That's right. I was wondering if we could create a new grid and then place the change into it and return that. I think it's doing it, but I'm trying to. What I'm wondering is if instead of having basically taking what you've got, where you create the grid and then change the status, but change the status by the coordinate. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I think
do something like matrix equal like.
We can.
Does that make sense? So have a like that,
and then just update it.
Yeah. Can we update the grid?
Yeah.
Do we have access to the matrix from here? That was I didn't know.
We're in grid. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So it'd be new grid dot matrix. Yeah, and then coordinate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be row
from the coordinate?
I'm gonna do this now. Row.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
Would it not need 2 sets of brackets?
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah.
Cool. What was it? Calculate.
Yeah, that's it.
Number of neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. No, we broke it.
Did we?
Apparently so, yeah.
You made too many changes at once, I think.
Yeah. Sorry.
Return new grid, that's why. Yeah.
In fact, we should probably do something like this here. Is it? Can we use self now? Have we got a new enough version? No.
No, apparently not.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, on Python 3.9.
Is it lowercase s?
I think you can do something like this, can't you? No, that's not right.
If it's returning grid, then just say it returns grid.
Oh yeah, yeah. We might need to that future annotations for that. Let's just try that. So it doesn't like that, but I think we can say there's two options. Either
Yeah,
we
I've seen this
import it
before.
and
I think you can do.
no, there's one of two ways I think we can do it. I think we can do, let's just do it this way. If we just do grid and then you have to import from annotations.
That work.
Is it from future? Import annotation. There we go. I think that works.
Yeah.
But that's just a symptom of older Python.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So I think, yeah. So we it feels like we're now in that place where the cell counter needs testing.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
hang
going
on.
to say either the cell counter or calculate next state, which is effectively the rules of game of life.
So, well,
Depending on, whether you have 2 live neighbors or 3 live neighbors or.
I know I'm not a driver or navigator, but would
Yeah,
anyone
go on.
mind if I extracted this method?
No, go for it. I like it.
No, I haven't got my magic in refactorings. Def update cell coordinate from value. Oh, if I finish this, or does someone else want to take over?
Well,
Let's finish it as you're in the middle of it,
Yeah.
and then we'll hand over.
Just put that in there and we say, oh, that's not right. Self.matrix equals that equals
It should be new. It should be new grid, shouldn't it?
it's not so this is on itself, and I'll show you why. Because if we go like that, then this becomes new grid.
Okay.
State cell
Yeah,
coordinate,
I see it. Nice.
comma, this thing. I think that's okay. Would you
Run
you
tests. Yep, that works fine.
it could do with some types, but I'm done. I'll rotate.
Who's
So
driving?
let's have a look. So we're back to John Mark. I'm going to hit the randomize button. So Mark driving, sorry, John driving, Mark navigating. That's new, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because John was navigating me previously, so I wouldn't have navigated him. Okay.
You want me to add types anywhere here?
We could do. Yeah, I think that's Being quite good with types at the moment. Let's make sure we've got all the
Yeah,
types
there's no
sorted.
return value, but would you put a void, Tom?
None. I think it is capital N.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What you
So-
could also do if you wanted to is up at the top you could define like a coordinate and cell state. So you could just say like coordinate equals tuple and cell state equals live or dead, and then we could refer to those instead of putting tuples everywhere, or not tuples, unions.
Yeah.
Sure. Talk me through it.
Okay, if you just go up to the top of the file somewhere, let's.
Yeah. Why don't you follow me? And
Yeah,
then...
following you. Sorry.
Cool. So if just somewhere up there, just create something called cell state. Do cell state equals capital C, capital S. Probably do camel case rather than a constant. So it's a type rather than a constant. So
Oh, okay.
cell state equals,
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
and then do your live or dead thing here.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Yeah. And then do another one. You can do another one called coordinate, which is int, comma, int. That's the tuple of 2 ints.
int
You probably need a,
and matrix,
if you want, yeah,
which is
equals.
equals there and there. The cell state.
Might need a tuple on that, I'm not sure. Cool. So lines 40, you can put cell state and coordinate. There's
Line
40, 46. No, sorry, 40. Yeah, so 41. Yeah, so
Yep.
just type the 2 arguments.
coordinate and cell state.
Okay. Just one thing you can actually do, I think, let's double check. If you go back up to the top where you're defining all those new types, can you make matrix a list of cell state?
Yeah.
Oh,
So then you can only have cell state of 1 or
good
0.
call. Good.
I know
Yeah.
you can't. Damn
Yeah.
it.
Why not? You should be able to.
Yeah,
Okay, why is it not? Hang on, let me just see what it's
It's
complaining about there.
it is a type.
Parameters too generic must be types.
Oh, do you think
I think this. I'm not
needs to
sure
be
about the
like
square
this?
bracket. Yeah, exactly. And the
Okay.
same on line 15. You've got to put tuple in front of the square brackets. I think.
Cool. Oh, nice.
Right.
That
Right.
works.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to run tests because we've made it quite a.
Yeah.
Nah, we broke something. Yeah. Where did we break it? IP. Is it module? Grid. Doesn't.
Grid
Hang on.
16 matrix list cell state doesn't like.
No. What's it said? It's saying type error parameter too generic must be types got 1.
That's from before.
That's the last error.
Yeah.
Try running it again.
No,
No, unless
I think
it's being passed a number explicitly.
yeah, I think it is. I think we need to just leave it as an int. I was trying to be too clever.
It's something in the test, isn't it?
Oh.
Is it?
Just checking.
Typing. Grid. PyTest 3. Line 3.
That was the horn. Oh, it's because of that line 5 list int. So if you make that matrix,
Ah,
that you might need to go all over the place for this, and that's going to extract it. You're going to have to move that into another file.
yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
Make it, yeah. So just I see because it's going to be circular references again, isn't it? Let's just leave it as an int rather than be too clever with ourselves.
Right.
Did you say it's a swap over time, Tom?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, who's what?
So Mark, you're driving. I'm navigating.
Okay. Cool. What do you want me to do?
Who's driving?
Me.
Okay.
Um.
Run the tests.
Yeah.
So boring.
Okay. So I think that actually we've got some interesting stuff going on in this function now, because we can make it go and start looking at other cells and things like that. But
Yeah.
I think it would be now it would be a nice time to turn our attention to the tests. I think I would like to get some test coverage. Would I like to? No. Do you mind going back to the grid for a second?
Go back to where, sorry?
The grid.py.
Yep.
We can start adding tests. Sorry, in my role as
Now you're advising.
advisor. Extract calculate next state into a completely separate module and write the tests for that.
Yeah.
Which are basically the 4 rules of the game of life.
Yeah.
That might be more interesting to do.
It is more interesting, and I think it's the right thing to do. I think I'd just like to tidy up a little bit of, like, because we've still got that massive overlap of 2 sets of tests.
Yeah.
Can we let's get the tests in for that. Let's do what John says, but rather than finishing the entire thing, let's just get the tests in for what we've done so far. So yeah, where should we move it to? I mean, we can just test it in this file, or do you want to move it to another module?
I'd rather move it, because then we can focus on it more easily on its own.
Cool. So Mark, do you mind scrolling down to the calculate next cell thingy? That one,
Yeah.
calculate next state. You just hit like if you hit, what is it? Shift just F6 on that?
You want to rename it?
No, just F6, no shift.
All right, F6, sorry. Yeah.
And then just type in whatever it is. What do you want to call it? Should we call it just
Cell?
cell? Yeah, okay.
Does cell stuff.
Cool. And the test still passing. If we might have not brought some stuff with us. No. So there's some things that need to come with it.
Oh, the live dead definition thing.
It's the cell state. Cell state needs to come with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we take, so can I just do an F6 on those as well?
On cells, it's yeah, why not? But I think it's cell state that it's complaining about, not live dead.
Yeah. Take the cell state.
Yeah. Is that enough? Do we need more? Let's run the test again.
Right.
What else
Some of
broken?
them are though. What's the problem? Let's see it. Hang on. What's the
Name where live is not defined. Okay, so you need to take live and dead as well.
into cell?
Yeah. And you should be able to do them both. Yeah, so if you type cell but hit bulk move below.
Hit bulk move. Okay. All right. Nice.
Theoretically, if we knew everything we needed, we could have taken it all at once. It might even tell you which things it's dependent on. Forget.
Let's see. Nope. It's
What
not
else?
there. Live not defined. Oh, is it now from the, it's now this?
The tests.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Very good.
Back to it. Right. Okay. So we've got the cell like that. So do you now want me to create a test for this function?
Well, not you, because the timer's gone.
Okay. Can I just create the class, the file? There we go.
Great. Test cell. Thank you.
Yeah, hang on. Cool. There you go. So there's now a test cell.
Nice one. So John, you're navigating. I'm driving.
Okay. Who's driving?
Me.
Right. Fine. So we want to write a test in test cell. Test calculate next state. So again, going by the rules of the game of life, live cell with fewer than 2 live neighbors dies.
fine. I'll write that.
So should we not start off with 0 neighbors dies, and then go how like, or I suppose no. Let's just be because 1
So
or
hang on.
0.
That's I want to see like how this goes. This is why I was thinking about property-based testing.
I've got a lag again, and I think I've deleted the file or moved it. Where's it gone?
Yeah, you deleted the file.
Why? Oh, there we go.
That's back. There you go.
Okay, cool. So what do you want me to test? Well, I at the moment, like in terms of property-based tests and the rules, I'm all up for adding them, but I'd like to get what's already there covered first.
So test 0 cell dies if 0 live neighbors with no
Cell dies if
cell dies if all its neighbors are dead.
So here's something interesting, right? Like we're saying cell dies, but the
Turns dead.
so we're testing that the cell dies, but it's dead.
It's
Isn't
dead
it?
by default.
But it's all, but it doesn't actually, because it might already be dead, right? So it does highlight the fact that our calculate next state currently isn't taking into account the cell's current state.
That's right. So actually it should say test live cell dies,
Okay.
which prompt us to put the cell in a live state.
Is it? But is it not?
Which means we're not passing in the current state
Yeah.
of the cell to the count to the function that calculates next state.
Yeah. So am I going to do that? Am I going to put live cell in here?
Yes, please.
And am I going to
like if we
run the test at this point and make sure that it sadly passes? But let's run the test. Mark, can you do the honor?
Yeah. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to work out if the liveness of the cell matters.
It doesn't at the moment.
Because if it has,
yeah, current state matters because next state depends on current state and neighbors.
no, any.
But not for this thing, like anything with zero neighbors always returns dead, whether it's live or dead. So should we rephrase it like that? So should we say, well, no, I think there's 2 tests there though, right? You need to test both of those cases. So I think this test still is valid, but I think you have to do the other one as well, even though the logic itself shows both.
But
let's do this one and then think about it.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay. Can I prove that this is? I'm actually going to. Do you mind just running just that test for me, Mark?
The one test, yeah, sure. Cell test. Oh,
So I'm just gonna break it, right? So I'm gonna say let's go.
Just make it all live.
Yeah, just return live. Does that fail?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So the rest are broken at the moment. So what should I do? Should I put it back and say that's good and then do the next test, or should we finish getting this back in with tests before rerunning the whole
Get
suite?
it back in with tests because I don't trust that it's covered otherwise.
Okay.
It just should be returned dead at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next person, Mark navigating, John driving.
Okay. So, John, were you suggesting we just TDD this from the beginning, basically?
Can you follow me on?
Oh yeah, sorry. There you go. Cool. So,
yeah, I'm suggesting that we kind of comment out the existing code.
Okay, cool. So if we do if you go back to the cell then and just make it return dead.
It's gonna,
Cool. So the next failing test would be if it has 2 live neighbors, then it's live.
did that pass?
Yes, it did.
So the test. Sorry, live cell.
Live cell lives if 2 live neighbors. Cool.
So cert number of living neighbors 2.
Yep.
Should be
Live.
5.
Cool. And now at that point, you should be able to bring back the existing code in cell, and we're back to the same place, I think.
Is that failing at the moment though?
Oh yeah, sorry, it's not running. Oh, hang on. What?
We
It's not
need to
running.
run
Oh,
that
it's
one.
not running all. Hang on. I'm going to go back to running all the tests.
Yeah, run all the tests.
Cool. And then we'll just ignore those ones for now. Yeah. So now you can go back to if you go back to the cell file and just uncomment that and delete line 9.
If live neighbors.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, you're right. That is code that we need to pass the test.
Okay.
Passed.
Hang on. I'm going to run all the tests because all the tests should now pass again. Yeah, they do. Cool. Okay.
Somebody deselect the.
It's Tom. Tom, you've got the code selected. Yeah. That's it. Thanks.
I don't know how that happened.
So I'm just trying to remember. Have we got the rules in the README? Yes, we have. Excellent. With fewer than 2 live neighbors dies. With more than 3 neighbors dies. So that means if it's got 3 neighbors, it still lives.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's add that test then, please. So
cell is 3. Oh, it's the same as this. Continues living.
Yeah.
There's also comes into being.
That's 2 separate tests. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they are 2 separate tests.
Yeah.
Okay.
It needs to be 3. There, yeah.
Calculate next state. 3 live neighbors.
Yeah. Cool. Hang on. Right.
Test.
Can I run all the tests?
Yeah, I just did.
Cool. Okay. So if we go to cell.
Yeah.
I'm not following you again, John. Sorry. So it could be line 11 could be if number of neighbors equals 2 or 3.
Or in Python, the word.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll run tests. Excellent, that's passing. So the next thing, any cell with 2 or live neighbors lives on to the next generation. We've just tested that, haven't we?
There's another case here that a dead cell with. Right. Okay. That's.
Hang on. We've just had the siren go off. So
very cool. Okay.
So I'm navigating. Mark, you're driving. John advising. Go.
Yeah.
Okay. Go, Tom.
Okay, so looking at this now, if you look at the test that we've got there,
Yep.
Like we've got what three brings it to life if it's dead, 3 keeps it alive if it's already there, and 2 keeps it alive if it's already there. All the others at this point are gonna like result with dead and things like that. Now at the moment, I don't think that we can write another failing test for this function without bringing in the current state of the cell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
So I think should we just add that in, and bearing in mind we're going to have to add it in here, and we're also where it's used, we're just going to have to pass a constant in for the time being.
Yeah, let's do that.
Would you like to write the test first, or?
So
I would like to do nothing of the sort. I'd like to go over to the who's driving?
me.
Yeah, cool. You've got the power. Can you go to the function definition?
That one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can press Command F6, which is Command. No, is that right? Change signature. There we go. So you can hit the plus in there to add a new parameter.
What do you want to call it?
Current state.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can set the default value, which is the value that will get written in everywhere that this gets added in, as being live, right? I think was the one we've written everything for so far.
Yeah, live.
Cool. So if you hit that button now,
Do the refactor.
I believe the test will all still be passing, because that
It's
should
done
have done it all.
Nice.
You can also add types.
Maybe not quite. Okay, so I think it's, if we go into, let's go into the grid, it's probably, oh, why is it a name error? Hang on, grid. Okay, it's not imported. Yeah, so if you run that again, that should be green.
That's cool. Never used that refactoring.
Yeah. It just saves us having been broken while we're jumping around all the different files fixing it. So
That's
I
right.
like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. Now we can write another failing test. So what I would like to do at this point is like pick something new. So I guess one that will fail is the one that we can write that's failing is bringing a cell to life.
Yep.
Comes to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. When three live neighbors, or if it looks like we have.
If live neighbors.
Probably should be when.
Yeah. Cool. So it's basically like that, yeah?
Oh, that's not going to fail, is it?
It's not going to fail, is it?
No. Okay, let's try something else. We need something that's.
Have we shot ourselves in the foot?
Yeah,
By not adding?
Possibly.
Why is that? Are you sure that's passing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it's the same as the one above, right?
Yeah.
So let's do one of the ones where it survives then. Oh no,
We've got all the survival states. I think that's the problem. We went into survival before we went to life.
Let's do a oh dear. Yeah, let's do, oh, we could do something naughty. Tell you what, can we comment this one out for a second?
Yeah.
Can we go back and look at our implementation? Can we?
Where's it using state?
Can we get rid of? Can we make new state into current state?
Like that.
Is that? If you run that now, how much have we broken?
Loads.
Okay, undo that. Can we try something else that's might be? Oh,
It's all right.
okay.
undone enough. There you go. Go on.
There's another.
I'm done. It's time to rotate again. Sadly, I can tell you what I was about to say, but
Go on.
so Navigator John, Tom, Mark. So Navigator John driving me. Okay. I think we could have an interesting conversation here, right? Because I think we could do one of two things. We could either try and tweak this and make this work, or we could say, hey, look, we've only done such a small amount on here. Should we blank it out and build this logic from scratch?
Yeah. I mean, what we could do is at this point, take out this test. Take out that test. That's the only one that's going to cause us a problem at this point, I think.
Okay.
Undo what we did to get there. So make just that test fail and then delete it. So would that be like, so if we just take this out, then that one test should fail.
What are we taking out?
I kind of feel that we're buying into a little bit of a sunk cost fallacy thing here.
Okay.
I mean, I'm easy. I'm just wondering if we should just say, hey, look, let's do it from scratch.
Yeah, I'm up for that as well.
I'm easy. I'm however you want to do it.
Let's do it from scratch. That was your idea. You were about to suggest it. So
it's either that or like I think this could be re-engineered so that it's a bit more it's a little bit more anyway, I'm driving on I can't say.
So my other suggestion was you implement it so that it is explicit to what the tests say. So you say that the current state is live and it has 2 or 3 neighbors.
Yeah, I think there's also a way to do it where if you change it, so if we change the if into a like if else, so we can flip it over and then we pass out the current state for the live state, I think that would fix it. But
okay,
I'm easy. I'm not driving, so you tell me what you want to do.
I'm navigating actually, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'll shut up.
So
Sorry.
I would be up for deleting this bit of the code, the or, and go back to this test, try and comment this one out. You follow me?
No, you're gonna have to drive me because okay. So you want me to? So tell me what you want to do.
You want to comment out test on 12.13.
Right.
Instead, uncomment the test on line 15. Now that should fail. Oh, sorry. We want to take this chunk of code out on line 11 inside cell.
You're taking my suggestion of just going backwards a bit, basically.
Yeah. Just take that out.
I run this. It's annoying to flip screens to see if it passes. Let me do it. What is it? It's pipenv. Right.
No,
PyTest.
you just need to run. You click on the green button in the IDE.
Yeah. Does that work for me though?
Yeah, it works for me.
Oh really? Okay. I didn't realise that. Sorry, I've been an idiot. I thought it was only Mark.
There seems to be a way to run them all though.
But I can run them, but I don't see the results.
Oh, that's a bit. No.
Anyway, it's all right. I've got this now,
Okay.
so I can run that.
0 test to run. You need to add the word test at the end, I think. Yeah.
I can run this one.
There we go.
That's it. So all tests are running and passing.
But everything's passing at the moment, John.
Yeah.
We've never seen this one fail yet. And we've got 44 seconds left.
So let's comment out all the code in and enable the tests one by one.
Okay.
That test should have failed though.
Pre-dead equals live.
Because if you look at the implementation,
Where's the implementation?
cell,
Yeah, it should have failed. That's what I was saying.
So why isn't it then?
Dead should not become live under any conditions.
And 3 should not be live.
Yeah, but dead's not being used, and like the input's not being used anywhere.
No, but
Current state is not being used.
it should just return dead. So did those tests run properly? Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Don't know what happened, but that command line didn't run it properly. So it is currently correct.
Okay. We're rotating. Mark,
Okay.
John. We're also 20 past, so another
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Gives us one more rotation, doesn't it? Okay. Who's what?
You are navigating, Mark. John's driving.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay.
So you want to implement this test.
So I'm just thinking.
State is dead. Yeah.
So what happens if we make?
Can somebody deselect?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, hang on. No. On you, John. Trying to get this. Can we do new state equals current state?
Yeah.
Well, you might just want to. You might need to invert the if, but
yeah. And then if number of labors less than 2,
possibly just try that first.
Covering less than 2, though. Are we? Oh, wait a minute.
It's just not equals 2, right?
It's not equal to yet. Then make them dead.
Yeah, right.
So run that. That we should still be in the 1 failing state, I think. Hang on, I'll run them. Sorry. So we've still got that one. Yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't. And then I'm just going to be really. So I'm just going to be really explicit.
Yeah. Why not? Else?
Yeah. It doesn't equal 2. No, because it won't be that. Hang on. If it equals 3, just make it live. So else, yeah, that's it. So if equals 3 live, it's gonna. I think you're right, Tom. The whole cost thing. It'd have been much easier to think about if we just started from the beginning, because I'm trying to unsolve 100 problems rather than actually think about the next problem. So new state equals live, else not 2. Does that make sense? Else.
New state equals line 15.
New state equals, new state equals live. Yeah, that's it. And then instead of it being an if, can you take this and make it an else if below the 14 if?
Wow,
yeah.
That was complicated.
Sometimes just starting again is, especially given we'd only sunk about 5 minutes into it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that should pass. So let me run tests. All tests back to passing, so we need a new test now.
So what about the one? Oh, sorry,
it's going to pass.
Is that going to pass?
Yeah.
If it's 3 and live, it stays alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I don't like about this is we're playing whack-a-mole rather than building up.
Yeah.
On a natural order.
Yeah. Because we rushed and now we're rushing again.
Maybe there really is nothing to do for this rule here. Live cell continues living. If it's alive by default. But it's not alive by default, but Hang on, that might fail if we're doing more than 3 neighbors now. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah. So just going to go back to README. Any dead cell with exactly 3 neighbors comes to life. More than 3 neighbors.
No, it's number 2 that we
Let's
haven't.
do number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to add a test for number 2 with 4 neighbors and check that a live, so a 4 live cell, 4 neighbors dead.
Live cell.
The horn.
Given when, then you can add those bits.
With
Well, I'm not following you. Sorry, John. You go.
neighbors.
The horn's just gone by the way. So right, finish this test.
5 minutes is quite short.
Okay, cert. Yeah, state. 4 neighbors. Live equals dead. That should fail, right?
I'll run test and check. No.
What? Why is
Yeah, I think this is where we
no, but it's coming in live.
Yeah, and it's saying that if
Something
it's not
else.
equal to 2, then it makes it dead.
yeah.
Which actually, yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Well, that covers it.
It covers it, but we don't get to, like, depends what we're trying to achieve, right? If we're sitting here and we're saying, okay, we just want to ensure there's some test coverage, we can fiddle around with this and convince ourselves that that's a good test. But if we're trying to do TDD by the book, then we need to write that failing test.
Yeah.
And
But
and
do you think that we've
but we also
written
don't-
too much code?
No, I think we didn't think about the tests. We should have, when Tom said we should start again, and we didn't start again, we should have started again. Because
How
we
would
had
you have
about, huh?
So here's an interesting question. How would you have started again, given that if we wipe this out, we could write some tests just for this function, but the whole rest of the test suite would be broken. So what would your approach have been then?
Talking to me.
We could have,
Either.
so I suppose we could have created the cell stuff and not been using it and test driven it.
Created a separate parallel function alongside.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of are already.
But we're not, because if we break this, the everything else breaks. Or
Yeah,
accept that whilst I'm implementing this, stuff's going to break.
Yeah.
And see the cell tests, the game tests as end-to-end tests at this point. And I've just, something like that. So there's 2 ways I've done it, basically, to answer your question. Either pulled it out and just started new and then used it once I was happy with it, or accepted that my game tests were going to fail until I'd completed the cell tests. What have you done?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have probably insisted that we did another function parallel, so that I could prove to everyone that like the right way is to keep the test passing all the way. Whereas personally, I probably would have just fleshed it out, running just the tests on that file, and then not told anyone.
What about this? What about doing TDD but with property-based testing?
I think we can, John, but we've got like
No, not now, but as an approach, it might. Are you talking about what we should do now?
we don't have time, but I'm happy to have the discussion. You'd like to do it property based?
No, I'm saying it might be an idea. See what that approach leads to.
Yeah. property-based, I've tried quite a lot with doing TDD with property-based tests, and I've had some success, and I like to use property-based tests, but you haven't, it doesn't, I've not found a way to consistently ensure that you always get to take the small iterations with it. You know, sometimes it forces you to make a bigger decision or do a bigger implementation, or you can't find the suitable property. So what I tend to do personally is do example-based tests until I've got enough examples that represent a property, and then collapse them down into a property. Or unless there is an obvious property, like we could have had a property at the moment. We haven't got it, but we could have had a property on our grid that you always get the same size grid in as you get out, and that probably would have been a good thing to do. But
hang on, I've got an idea, Tom. Can I just comment? Can we comment these out? Who's driving?
You
I don't know. We're in the horn has sounded. So
yeah.
Right.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do another couple of rounds, or do you want to?
Yeah, I've got an idea for this.
We do one more round
for an approach,
and then start the wrap up.
Yeah. So if John's got an idea, let's put John as the navigator.
Yeah.
Shall I drive, or do you want to drive, Mark?
Don't mind, you drive. Go on. I don't.
Right, Mark, John, what you got for me?
So I think I've identified what the problem is. Like we've got a test that says if two live neighbors, but what we're actually doing in the implementation is not two is dead, right?
Yeah.
What if we did exactly what it says on the test? What did it say? If two live neighbors, it's alive. And so on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the problem, it comes back to that same problem, because like now nothing is making anything dead. So I think if you run the test now, Mark.
Yeah, hang on. Right.
So I think yes, if we had, sorry, is that because I'm in there?
Yeah.
Because if we were sticking,
no, we've broken everything at the moment.
Yeah, right. So continues living if two live neighbors, and comes to life if three. That covers that. But with 4 dies, we need to add another else if, right? It says if 4 neighbors, then
yeah, I'm worried that we're introducing untested code.
Yeah, I think.
Well, comment out that test. Comment out this. Sorry, I'm being a bit.
Yeah, see, now we may or may not have full test coverage on this, but I can't work that out. I've lost my confidence.
Yeah.
Let's delete the whole thing.
We should have about 20 minutes ago.
Delete the whole thing. There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
At least we got the tests. I mean, the tests are correct.
Yes,
yeah,
true.
But I wouldn't reintroduce them. I wouldn't reintroduce them in the same order.
No.
Right. Okay. Let's take them out. Now,
I'd comment them out and reintroduce them one at a time, but not necessarily in that order.
Okay, not even in that order. Which one do you want to start with?
Okay. What do you want to do? Because should we say like the mob time is over and just spend 10 minutes seeing this journey through?
Yeah.
I'd like to carry on a bit longer.
So who would, like, I could have opinions on which order to do this.
If
I'm
you,
sure Mark,
if you,
I'm sure
you
John
have a plan, Yeah,
Who would
you
like
sound
to
like you have a plan, Tom. So why don't you navigate?
And I'll drive.
Cool.
Okay. Should we start with the first one? Live. In fact, no, let's introduce one before that. Dead cell stays dead if no live cell. Yeah, that one. Live cell. No, dead cell stays dead.
Yeah, sorry.
If,
So
if
dead cell stays dead.
yeah, with no live neighbors.
Dead cell dead. Happy with that? There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna pass because we're passing
It
back.
shouldn't do. Hang on, it shouldn't do though, because I would like before doing this, I'd like to delete all the code from here.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Pass.
Throw not defined exception. Raise. Sorry.
Raise, thank you.
Throw.
not implemented.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Run all the tests.
You need. I think
We
you
just
need.
accept the game test
You
of failing.
need
Oh.
open close brackets there.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
thank you.
implemented error. I think.
Not implemented error.
Like that. Brackets.
Yeah, brackets.
Yeah.
So that's our failing. That's our failing test.
Yeah.
So let's return dead.
Return dead, yeah?
Return dead. Cool.
No, that's passing.
Yeah, we could just run that. If you, yeah, okay, cool. So, you want to just run that one file actually, just to like it.
There's no easy way to run a
Just step
single.
down on the left where it says test cell in the results. Just right click on that and do run. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
cool. Okay, so we can't do the next one. We can't do live cell stays dead because it's going to be dead. Right. So let's go for an interesting one. I'm going to go for the dead cell that comes alive.
Okay. So this one.
Yeah. For some mad reason, but I'll explain why I'm choosing that one first, right?
Cool.
Okay.
So if we run that,
It's failing.
it's failing. But the nice thing with this, oh no, sorry, that's not the one I wanted. Sorry, undo that, wrong test. Sorry, I want a live cell. I want the live cell stays alive, not
That
not
one.
That one. Yeah.
I think I know what you're doing. Okay,
Yeah.
save. Run. Okay,
Right.
It's failing.
So on the next one, this one will fail.
You can just return
And
current
now-
state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the reason I picked that one is because I want to make that return about that state.
Yeah.
And it's the simplest thing that we can do to do that. So let's run that and see what we get.
Green.
So you get a very iterative
Yeah.
development.
Okay.
And now we got a fun one because now we can go back to that no live neighbors again. So no live neighbors, but now let's do the live one.
Okay. We got that one? Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
Cool.
Yeah, this is what we should have done a while ago. Sorry, viewer. I don't think we've got a viewer.
No, I mean it's a great thing to reflect
Yeah.
on.
It is. Okay, cool. That's failing.
Cool. You can implement that one. It's easy.
Okay.
This means, Tom, that in
Hang on.
TDD, you need to think about what kind of code this will drive and choose the
Oh.
next test case accordingly.
I mean,
I don't-
I would argue that you don't always know, but you are like sometimes it's purely exploratory, and sometimes I think you think ahead. But for me, this is why you do katas, right? You do a kata and you try doing this with the tests in every single order and try and build an intuition as to which order was the right. the right one.
Yeah, that's right. And then you do the
Did you have a
again.
count?
Hang on a second. I'm trying to remember what the test was. So I'm trying to concentrate on what you're saying. And so what's it?
Number live zero. Number live.
Oh, yeah.
Number neighbours.
If
zero.
neighbours.
So I guess in answer to John's question, you know, we've done our red, we've done our green. So we stare at this and we do our refactor, and I'm going to say let's just move on at this point. But we now have to write, like the criteria is you have to write the next failing test, but that next failing test is not purely informed by the other tests. It's informed by this.
Yeah.
You've got to look at this, stare at it, and think, what is the next sensible failing test I should write? So I'm interested in one that's not too big a jump or is going to move a little bit. So we could do something like we've done both the 0 cases now. So maybe we could move to the 1, but is that the best next step?
So you're saying,
So what, doing if one live neighbor, then it's still live with one live neighbor equals dead.
Yep.
So
like that's fair. That's a possibility, but there's in the current state we're not going to be able to write dead with no live neighbors dies. One with no live neighbors dies, are we? Because
you should be able to do that. You should. So hang on. I'm not gonna edit the test name, but that should fail.
yes, but the dead one wouldn't.
No.
Let's do this one.
Right. Live cell dies if one live neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fails. So then you can change this to like less than 1.
No, because it includes 1. So it's 0 or 1. Or less than 2.
No, but it's not. Oh yeah, so you can do less than 2. Or less than, hang on. Let's make it nice and clear. Less than or equal to 1.
Yep.
Because that then represents the state. That's the easiest change.
Yep.
And if I run that, that should pass.
Yeah.
And then that then allows me to go and do the next test for 2.
Yeah, but it wouldn't allow us to do a 1 dead one, right? Or maybe we don't necessarily need it. Like maybe we can backfill that test later if we feel we need it, especially if we move to a property-based test.
Yeah.
But we can't do that. So I think you're good. Let's push on to the next one. Survives, right?
Yeah. 2 live neighbors.
Is that the right test though? Hang on, sorry, I was thinking it was.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
I think that's going
Two
to
live
pass.
cell lives.
Yeah, that passes. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to go back and stare at that code.
Yeah.
We're at 4, like 3:45.
Okay.
How much longer do we want to go on for? 5 more minutes, or
Yeah.
and then reflect.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So is this where we have to start looking at comes to life?
Could do.
That's that one.
Or overcrowding? Which one's going to overcrowding and killing it might be better than coming to life?
Yeah, it comes to life because if it's dead, then it'll stay dead.
I'm just thinking,
unless we add code to make it come to life.
So hang on, which rules have we we've completely covered the first rule, right?
any live cell with fewer than 2 dies.
Yeah. So at the point that I'd say that's covered, we're not going to do this, but that is the point where I'd go, okay, let's convert that into a property.
Yeah.
And then we'd have that thing like set in stone. But let's keep going with the TDD. So any cell with 3 or more live Davis dies, or we go with the coming to life. Should we do the coming to life one?
Yeah. Do it.
I think we can do that. I wonder if there's a reasoning, like sometimes following the order of the rules helps.
I think,
but
yeah, I think there's 2 sides to that. Sometimes it helps, but sometimes I've very, very often seen people take the rules literally and make it a lot harder. I think both ways work though. Like, so because you also might say, okay, well, I just want to implement one feature at a time.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do. So what we'll be doing 3 comes to life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's now that one. Here you were back there again. So we have actually used all of the. We've not written any new tests. I don't think.
No.
Might be wrong. So dead, 3 neighbors, lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, we've got more tests.
Run it on that one.
So
equals.
Oh,
I know.
yeah. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's failing.
Yep.
So if neighbors equals 3,
Yeah.
So do exactly what it says on the test.
Wrong one. Live.
Oh yes, it's coming to life. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool. I think this is interesting. I'll tell you why in a bit. Carry on with this route for a minute.
Okay.
So find the next one.
Well, so looking at that is now complete. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no other functionality on that one. So that's done. So now do we go back to with 3 or more neighbors dies?
Yep. Let's do the crowding one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we want
the last one.
Hang on. Is it?
Yeah. There's one
more than 3. Sorry, it was more than 3, so it's 4. Sorry. So that one, that test there, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you spotted where we're about to kick ourselves again?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's something else I'm thinking about.
So if
But the thing is, it's a rule that says if 4 or more neighbors, then it dies.
You've got to have at least 2 tests for that, though.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say you convert that rule into an infinite number of examples. So,
well, it's only between 4 and 9 because you can only have 4 neighbors. No, 9 neighbors maximum.
no, that's true.
I think do a 5 as well for that one.
Yeah. That should fail. Cool. And then I can do
4 or more.
then or equal to that, and then I can just take
Wonderful.
this.
Yeah.
Or no, it's or, isn't it? And then that makes that a little bit neater.
Can I just make a little request? Can we keep it as it was? Just
Yeah, sure.
so that we've got one block per rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that afterwards if we want. But
That's fine. Yeah. Cool. So that then means that we've completed that overcrowding one, unless you like. Well, we kind of
There's
jumped ahead, but yeah, that one.
one
So the
left
only one is
where the any dead cell becomes alive. No,
what?
number 4. Have we done that one? Yes, we have. Sorry.
Yeah, we have done that one. So now we're on any
Yeah.
cell with 2 or 3 neighbors lives to the next generation. Yeah.
yeah,
So going back. So do you want to do a 2 first? We've done that. No, we've done that
let's
already.
do it. Let's do it. So we've done a 2.
So we need to do a 3.
Do a 3.
That's that one. Run.
Yeah, so that's that. But here's the, if we go, what I think, if we got a 2 dead,
What do you mean?
2 live cells with a dead, two neighbors with a dead cell.
No, we don't have that. Hang on. So dead with 2 live, currently dead with 2 live neighbors.
Yeah.
No, we don't have that test.
Can we just try it? I'm not sure. Well, or have a look at the code, see what it will do. Let's write the test.
So 2
Currently the 2.
Yeah. That should stay
dead.
Stay dead.
Yeah. We might have done that one. I don't know.
Test
Which
dead cell continues to not dead because there are 2 live neighbors.
Continues dead.
I can't remember what.
I'll change that to still.
Stays dead.
That passes as well.
So we've got that. So here, let's go back and look at the.
What are we missing?
Station. Not sure we're missing anything at this point.
No.
Number is less than 1. So 0 or 1 is dead. 3 or exactly 3 is always alive. Anything over 4 is always dead. Otherwise, return the same thing.
Yeah, which is right, isn't it? Basically, because the only thing that goes all the way through and never hits NIF is 2.
Yeah, this is something that I find interesting though, because I think that have we got any? Can we do anything weird here?
We can refactor it. I mean, then you would lose the 1 line per rule thing.
No, but I'm just wondering, can you try something a bit odd for me? So if you go line, so at the moment we're agreeing this is done, right? This is a working version of the, so we've TDD'd it, we've got a set of tests, and we have an implementation which we believe is correct, right? And I think that's true. But if we look at line 15 here, can you do me a favor? And change that to basically like flip it. So say so live space. So after where your cursor is there, do space if current state equals dead, else live, else dead. Sorry.
Like that.
Yeah, can you just run the test? I don't know if that's gonna.
Yeah, because that reflects the rule more, doesn't it?
It does break it. Sorry, it does break it. So we did have a test for it. I was worried we didn't have a test, like we had gaps in our test. I think that's my point, right? Is I think this is good. I think we've driven the implementation using tests. We've used examples, but I don't think the tests are good. I think the tests are only a subset of what should be there. I think we should, it should move to a more property-based thing.
Do you think that would get us to 100%?
No, I think we're already at 100% test coverage. That's the
No. I didn't mean I had 100% test coverage. I think we are, because every line's covered. But would that approach force us? Would that go? What test is missing? If that makes sense.
I think it's more that the tests don't tell a great story, right?
Okay.
Like this here is a pretty good representation of the rules. The tests are kind of like arbitrary random examples. Like you could probably make them better if you group them. So group them by property.
Yeah.
You know, if you grouped like all the ones for the first property, all the ones for the second property, all the ones for the third property, you know, put a comment block to say that these all belong to this, these belong to this, then I think that would make the tests clearer and they'd make more sense. But actually, you know, I'd probably prefer moving to like a parameterized test for each property, and then passing in the, you know, the list of different values, just to state that all of these things together make up this rule, and all of these things together make up that rule. At the moment, I think that you know, they're just an arbitrary sequence of like, hey, if you put 3 in, you get 2. You know, put 5 in, you get this. You know, that it doesn't quite tell the story. So I think there's some refactoring in the tests to do. I think this goes fine, right?
Yeah, that's.
And in fact, you could even simplify this, right? Because we've got a state, you could early returns on those things and just return current state at the end, or something.
True. Yeah.
Cool. Shall we have a little retro?
Yes, I'll create a retro. It's 3 technically. Cool. Tom, do you want to suggest do you want to just go glad, sad, mad? Stop, start, continue.
Yeah.
I think we did stop, start, continue last time. That worked quite well.
Yeah. No, let's do a glad, sad, mad. Like, what did you like about this? What didn't you like?
Cool.
I like the way we simplified code.
So do we want to put
separating concerns?
2 minutes on the clock? Happy with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Go. Okay, that's our 2 minutes up. Everyone happy?
Yeah.
Cool. Start with the glad, shall we? No, let's start with the mads. That's what made us mad. We made it hard for ourselves. I think that was you right in there, Tom.
Yeah, interesting. I think that you know, we talk about the benefits of mobbing, right? And I think that there are many, and I think that you know, often you can kind of slow down a little bit, but you're producing a superior solution at the end, and you are, you know, maybe you're going to you know, maybe it takes a little bit longer to deliver the thing, but the thing actually is more the right thing than it needs to be, so you get payback on that investment. But I feel like in that middle section where we were wrestling with the trying to get the test coverage over the thing and make progress with the thing that was already there, I think that probably every one of us probably could have bashed it out a lot quicker independently. So maybe I'm being blinkered and not seeing the value that we got from it, and we probably did, because we had some interesting discussions from it. But I also think that there's something that we somehow missed, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the call to, you know, like just throw it away and start again. But I think that in this particular case, for some reason, we made that harder than we should have. I guess it's not mad. It's not really mad, right? It's definitely not mad. It's learning, and actually, it's probably a real positive.
We could have just been harsher on ourselves and said, like, if we write a test and it's passing, there's something wrong with the whole thing. It's delete and start again.
There was another thing that I forgot.
Okay. So yeah, I put mad, not much progress. It did feel like we just spent a lot of time wrestling around something that was actually quite simple, and we shouldn't have been there. And actually we kind of showed ourselves, if we just started again on that cell test, then we got to the end of it quite quickly.
Yeah.
So carry tech debt. Go on, Tom.
Yeah. I really don't like the fact that there's some things that we didn't address and are still in there now. You know, right at the beginning, we've got that double test coverage at the top level. Yeah. I think there were a few decisions we made along the way that you know, could have done with a bit more time to finish things off or to tidy things up. I feel like, you know, we can make it work now, but you know, we're like, okay, but we have to go back and tidy it up. Whereas I would much more preferred that we would have tidied up and not carried that with us.
Yeah, makes sense.
And there's a few different bits I'm talking about, whether it's things like, you know, using the int type instead of the coordinate type, or, you know, these kind of things. You know.
Yeah, we just stopped to refactor for long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So do we want to put an action to try and like remind ourselves to resolve tech debt?
Yeah.
First.
I mean, I feel like maybe we could try it. We could try it as an explicit action, but I feel like it should be more about the ways of working
at the refactoring stage.
Cool. Okay, so going into sad. Sometimes hard to keep a thought going with frequent switchovers. Who was that?
Yeah, I wrote that. You know, sometimes one of us was like following a thought or on a roll to do with something, and then that had to be handed over to somebody else. We usually kept it going, but I think the switchover should be less frequent.
Okay.
Maybe
Interestingly,
we should consider 10 minutes.
okay. So interestingly, someone's got in the glad 5 minutes. Is that you,
Yeah.
Tom, by any chance?
It is, but I've also got down on line 11 there. I've also got not joined up thinking, which is exactly the same as the one above. I think that the 5 minutes was both a really great thing and also problematic. I think it was problematic for the reasons that we just talked about, but I think it was a great thing because I think it creates a stronger collaboration. Like it, you're moving around, you're more involved, you're always involved, you don't drop out for long.
Yeah.
So but I think my takeaway from that is that working at 5 minutes versus working at 15 minutes is a different way of working. It's not just a different time thing, it's a different way of working. I think if you're working at 5 minutes, you probably need to spend more time joining up, more time becoming one brain.
Exactly, we need to be synchronized.
Yeah. So I think if we were to take a call, like let's say we were to do another hour now, and we'd say, hey, let's actually go for 15 minutes, I think that would be a great decision, right? But I also think if we said we need to do another hour, but before we do that, let's take 10 minutes to sit down and talk about our strategy, I think that's, and we'll keep doing 5 minutes, I think that's great. But I think that, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think there's pros and cons.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the 5 minutes. It was quite nice. It was, yeah, I think what we didn't do was switch down our thinking to be small. We were still thinking we have 10 minutes worth of work in a 5 minute time. So, okay, cool. I'm not going to mention commits.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, that's fine. Yeah. This one, no new AKers. It's been the three of us. Abby started at the beginning. It would be nice if we could drag some more of us in. I think. I think also, like with the whole 5 minutes, and it changes up things. I think if there's 5 of us, then that create or 5 or 6 or whatever we can get. Like that will create a really interesting dynamic because like quick changeovers and lots of ideas. It will be quite interesting.
It will be interesting. Yeah.
So cool. Let's go into the glads. Like the way we simplified the code and separate concerns. Whose was that?
Me, yeah. As soon as we started separating out things, or talking about separating out functionality, it became apparent that that each of the functions was tackling separate concerns, and it simplified not only the code, but it simplified the tests, or what seemed like an infinite number of tests at the beginning.
Yeah. So the next two of me, it was quite nice to use the timer to track who was. It was just one bit of cognitive load we could just get rid of. We didn't need to think about it. I really enjoyed the randomized order of who. Like it was nice to have different people driving you and being driven by different people. Because I think last time we did the same. We just went round and round and round. So there was never a different kind of way of working together, which was quite nice. I only thought one day if you could actually randomize the time between 5 and 10 minutes, that I think that would create chaos. So, but yeah, organic approach to final solution. Whose was that?
Yeah, that was me. Sorry, that probably doesn't quite explain what I mean properly. The organic bit is about the fact that we decided to not to break free from the 5 minute rigid rule for a bit.
Yeah.
Like I think the rigidity and the structure is really, really valuable, but I think it was also, it was a good choice at that point to say, let's not fix ourselves to this. Let's take a moment to, work in a slightly different way at this moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's, maybe if you're doing exercises and katas and workshops, then maybe a good thing to do is to be really strict with the rules. But I think that, what we did there is much more indicative of how you might work in a real world.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And I think it's that, like, I jumped in on that last bit to drive because I wanted to be navigated through it, if that makes sense. No, I knew what was kind of coming, but I wanted to be in the approach of your thing. I think that comes into that kind of, when you're in the real world working on real problems, the person who understands the solution or is the most confused should probably be the person driving, so that they can, like, sometimes I find that getting your fingers and typing the words actually makes it come to life in your head a bit better.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Cool. At the end, felt good process with separate function. Who's that? No famous.
Yeah.
Let you.
I think I wrote that. Yeah.
Anything to add or?
No, but it's good because that was one of the actions from possible actions from last retro. So
yeah. So cool. And Driver Navigator worked in principle. Who was that?
Yeah, me too. I really liked the way the Driver Navigator worked at the beginning, at least. Like towards the end, it kind of fell apart, and we were doing everything. But at the beginning, it was quite strict, and I liked that the way that was working. The navigator's free to think of abstract ideas and code, and the driver just has to think how to make it happen.
Yeah.
And eventually the driver will be replaced by ChatGPT.
Yeah. Cool. So
can I add one thing that doesn't fit into those categories?
Of course you
an
can.
action. Can we change the exercise for next time? Can we do a new challenge?
Yeah, definitely. John and I are actually currently working on deciding some katas for some training we're going to be running. So we've got some interesting ideas. So we could
Cool.
actually bring the HVAC, the air conditioning one. That might be quite interesting to bring in.
Cool.
And then
What I would
go on.
No, please finish.
I was going to say, and the other one I wanted to bring in as an action was, let's see if we can get some other people in. Bit of diversity of ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'd like to do at some point as well is not necessarily bring an exercise, but bring a constraint. So like maybe if we do like the HVAC one the way that you do it, and then like I'd like to bring like a constraint along, and the constraint could be something like no mutability.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
No open close principle, or solid principle, or
no functions,
object calisthenics, or whatever it might be. Like I would love to, explore the constraints.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds fun. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat offline about what we do next, but there's some interesting things we can do. Cool. I think that's it from everyone. So thank you very much, everyone. Let's get together again next week. Oh no, John and I aren't here next week.
Okay.
Tom, you're going to need to find some new friends. The get some new people to join is really key, because otherwise it's just you mobbing on your own.
Cool. I look forward to it. That's if I'm even here. Right.
Very cool. See you later.
Great weekend.
Bye.